one queen to another. I'm like, let's talk about money, honey. I made $167,000 in sales in a week, which is my largest I've ever made. So if I can do it, others can do it.
And we are here with Natalie Patterson with Key to the Queendom. You're so successful.
Meditation is the quickest way to be able.
How do you get people to find what it is, their sole purpose?
What I always do is I take them through a technique of actually having the discipline and having the commitment is definitely how I know them.
If you were to give your key, that one key that opens their door, what would that key be?
True.
Welcome to the Queendom. And we are here with Natalie Patterson with Key to the Queendom. I'm excited. You are my first business coach, one business coach to another. And I'm here to introduce, you're so fucking successful. You also are a psychic reader, but I know that's, something you bring into your business. But I'm just really excited to have you here today, Natalie. How are you, my darling?
We're good. Thanks so much for having me on, babe. I so appreciate you.
Very, very common in my world of episodes. I don't plan. I go off what you said, and you want to bring in conversations around money.
Yes. I really want to bring this up because I feel like in a society, we hide away from talking about this. And so one queen to another, I'm like, let's talk about money, honey.
And do you want to share what you've just recently shared with me on how you went with your recent sales? Because you know what, you're right. We need to celebrate more what we've made, what you've made, and also just as a collective and celebrate your wins. So
thanks, babe. So I was just actually, before we jumped onto this podcast, I was telling Tamara that I made $167,000 in sales in a week, which is my largest I've ever made. And I've been running my business for 1 year and 4 months. So if I can do it, others can do it. And I really want to bring this into the space because everyone is worthy of abundance. And no matter what your programming is or your blueprint of money is, when you truly align to your mission, when you truly deeply know your soul's purpose and then your worth, pays you, right? And it's this big conversation that I want to start talking about. Let's talking about money because everyone is worthy of fucking living that life that they want,
You spoke about when everything is aligned and you're on mission. So you said before last year, a year and 4 months.
Year and 4 months.
And this has been your biggest sale. So what do you feel is a common theme with a lot of coaches or entrepreneurs out there who obviously want the $1 million business or $1 million 170K wins of business, but then struggle to hit that?
So I think the biggest line is when they're fully fulfilled in their mission. Like when I look at you, baby, your brand, I'm like, you're so fucking on mission, And when I first met you, actually said, you're like, I've got such a fucking big mission. And I'm like, yes, same. And it's like that deep, innate knowing came to this earth to deliver, to serve, to hold people at their highest projections. And so whenever I coach clients, the first thing I do is channel through their mission. Because when they know their soul's purpose, when they have that full connect, I feel like they come into alignment more. Then they're more aware of what they need to do and serve. And then they bring their passion into it. And then I also believe that passion is this massive moneymaker. You look at you look at me. We're so passionate about what we do. We're happy to work 10 hours a day if we need to. We're happy to do big events. We're happy to do whatever we need to best serve our communities, to build it to be bigger because we're on mission. So I feel like when I think about people perhaps doing 10K, 20K, 30K months, and then actually making the distinction from there to 6 figures and above, the huge missing gap, I believe, is that they're not on mission. And so like last year, I think I helped 70 people heal anxiety and depression. I did a lot of transformation work. And I realized throughout that the reason these people are out of alignment in their life is because they don't have a mission. So I actually created an event called What's My Mission? And I taught people how to channel their own mission statements through. And then I created an event afterwards, like a sequel called The Next Step. So I can actually call people forward into making action and actually then doing something with their mission and holding them accountable. So I feel like if more people tuned into their soul's purpose, making more money.
Yeah. Fuck, that's so fucking juicy. Because do you know how many people don't know what mission is?
Yeah, I do. It actually comes into my field a lot. I'm like, I don't know my mission. And it's like actually like a thing that I do. Like, I will help you create your mission, you know?
I will show you the way.
Come with me, baby. Yeah.
I have to give you guys some context. So Natalie and I, we haven't really spoken much, but we went in a very similar event space. And then I met you at Alex's event. And since then, you and I have just been vibing. And I just want to really bring that forward because I think it's so important that everyone that's in this entrepreneur space, we all just have this understanding and knowing. And when you see someone who's on that same level of, I'm going to say grit, discipline, and trust, which is a big takeaway I took from obviously Alex's event. But I really want to bring this forward because when it comes to explaining to someone who may not know their mission, yet you know that they have a vision and it's about finding what that is, how do you navigate that for someone who's listening who knows there's something that they want to do, yet they struggle to find where it is? And it's almost like, and I went through this in my life as well. It's like I have all these weird voices coming to me like, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Oh, but what if this is not the right thing? How do you get people to find what it is, their sole purpose?
Their sole purpose. Nice. Great question. So what I always do is I take them through a technique of actually tuning in to their higher self and then actually channeling it through. So I teach them how to channel it from pen to paper, which is really juicy. However, for those listening right now, what you can do is sit in meditation, connect to your higher self. And the way I like to do that is envisioning or imagining that you've got beautiful golden energy wrapping all the way around you. And then like a cord, it comes out from your crown chakra all the way into the universe and then attaching to your higher self. Then I ask my higher self to raise my vibration. And as I do that, I lift my body up and take a big deep breath in. And then I literally ask my higher self to download my soul's mission. And I allow the first things that drop through to be those things. And I mean, this could be something that you need to take practice on. However, you know, if we think about the unconscious mind is connected to the conscious is being connected to the higher self. It's all connected. So when we sit in meditation, when we have head-heart coherence, we come more into alignment, we're more able to receive downloads and information from source, from our spirit guides, from our higher self. And so meditation is the quickest way to be able to connect. And it's one of the first things that I teach when I coach. I'm like, are you meditating? And if you're not meditating, you should be. 10 minutes a day, you know, like having that time to connect and then allowing yourself to hear messages and receive messages. And another thing I love to tell people to do is write down your 3 massive passions in life. What are 3 things you're so deeply passionate about that you are so excited about that gives you that beautiful rush in your body? What is it that you truly deeply desire to do? And if you had all the money in the world, what would you actually do? If you had all the money and all the time in the world and the spaciousness, what would you actually do? And then let's say that's like big picture. We put that out into our future. What are the steps that you can take backwards to then be able to propel you forward into creating that as a business?
Babe, it's everything you've just said to me. I was like, obviously I'm containing myself because I'm listening, but I just felt like going, oh, this feels so good.
Oh, I love you.
It's true. And I have to be honest, babe. So when you mentioned meditation, the first thing that came to my head was how long, and I've gotten back into the 4 a.m. club with my partner and we're both
yes,
we're on such a big routine. But prior to, I guess, other mentors I've been with, there was almost this element where they didn't believe in meditation. And so I took on this weird journey of, because they said that I kind of felt like it was an obligation until obviously as of late. So I really love hearing that it's all about I don't want to say the basics, but it's the thing that people take for granted that's going to bring them into that sort of frequency.
Totally.
And, money mindset as well.
And honestly, those small basic things are such a massive thing. I mean, you look at someone like Alex, she speaks about her bulletproof reprogramming system every single morning, getting up, meditating every single morning, going for a run, reading out what her magical script things that, she brings into existence. And I've been coaching with her for a wee while now, and I do that every single day. And like you mentioned this just before, it's that grit and it's that discipline. And it's a 1%ers, isn't it? It's the 1%ers of like, all right, you know what? I'm going to make sure every single day I clear my emails. I'm going to make sure every single day I update my Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to make sure that I do my 1%ers because it shows me trust, certainty, and my self-belief that I can continue to do these things.
And it's the little things that people don't understand. But I want to go back to what we wanted to really go into with money, because you said to me it has been the leap, and I guess that's been a massive change for you. So anyone listening, because we've had a few people come in and speak about quantum physics, and everyone has their new way of explaining it. And I love learning from everyone who talks about it. What do you mean by the quantum leap, or the quantum that you did to change how you made, was 160K?
167,000 in a week.
Yeah. What was the difference between you last week versus you, let's say, a year ago?
Great question. So I really want to speak into vibration and frequency. So there is levels of vibration. Now, the highest vibration we can feel or radiate at is enlightenment, empowerment, joy, and happiness, right? And I believe enlightenment is 770 hertz frequency. And then the lowest vibration we can feel is guilt, shame, fear. So this time last year, I was vibrating kind of anywhere between, say, 330 hertz frequency and maybe 500, which is love. And I kind of balanced and floated in between there. So I had things that were able to circle into my awareness, and I was able to download the information, or like download things from my spirit guide and then action it. And then other times I'd kind of repel it or reject it from coming into my awareness, where now the frequency that I'm at is very, very, very high. I'm at that high hertz frequency. And in that frequency, everything can manifest so quickly. So that space is where you're able to quantum leap and quantum shift. So the mindset that I have and the belief that I have is that I'm so fucking worthy of abundance, because this money is going to be reinvested into Starseed Society, my beautiful business, and this business is going to keep helping humanity and keep servicing humanity. And so I have this innate belief that I'm so fucking worthy of abundance because I know that I'm helping humanity. Where this time last year, I didn't really know what I wanted to do as much. Like, the mission wasn't so congruent, it wasn't so embedded. And now it is. I live, breathe, eat this lifestyle, this incredible business that I have. I am the brand. And I know it so deeply now. It's like such a deep resonance. It's like, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is my brand. Just like you, babe. That's why I'm like, fucking love you so much, because we're such a mirror in that, we're such a mirror in that, like, it is us. Business and work is one. It is actually one. And when you come into that alignment, and then you come into that belief system that you are worthy, then of course the universe is going to grant you that. Now, one massive thing I do tomorrow, I'm pretty fucking crazy. And I literally talk to the universe. I'm like, universe, show me what I need to do. What does my clients need from me? What does my business need from me? Universe, show me. And I literally allow the downloads to flow. And as soon as those downloads flow, I action them. So last week or the week before, I had a download that there was someone in my awareness that wanted to pay me a high ticket for an amazing offer that I've never created before. So I sat in meditation. I was like, what is the offer? And the platinum experience came to mind. And I was like, okay, it's going to be high ticket, something I've never done before, VIP days, blah, blah, blah. So I created this juicy offer I've never done before. I spoke to a couple of my coaches, and then I created this offer, and then I called in the energetics. I called in the client in the quantum. And then all of a sudden I was like, I'm going to find that client. Now, I didn't just get one of those clients. I got 4 of them. And they all energetically found me, right? And it was just this beautiful calling in. I didn't have to do anything. It was like following the path of least resistance. All I did was make a post, had people, literally show up in my inbox. And I was like, wow, I've done so much energetic work to get myself here because I'm playing in such a high frequency that anything that I want to call in, it literally happens. And so I teach a lot of energetics in my business because I believe that when you quantum shift, when you know the language of connecting to the universe, when you know the language of connecting to your spirit guides, everything's just like a soul download. Your higher self's connected, like I mentioned before, your higher self's connected to your conscious, to your unconscious. And it's like this beautiful flow-on connection.
Okay, so much came up for me when you said that, and I have to remember what the question was, because the first thing was for me, does everyone have spirit guides, and how do you find that? Because for me,
conversation.
So this is where I get really interested in, because again, I've dabbled in oh God, I'm sounding crazy. I've dabbled into obviously tarot reading and obviously being with different types of spiritual coaches and whatnot. I love Alex to death. I love her way of teaching. I love you as well. But I've never understood the difference between the universe and spiritual guide.
Hey guys, real quick. Have you ever been stressed out or stuck on a problem you just can't seem to figure out, and then a friend or a mentor comes along with like a fresh perspective and shows you a solution that completely changes the game for you? I'm smiling right now as I say this because I know I've had a ton of these moments while building my businesses and remembering back to all the people I have been helped by, which gets me so excited. So I want to pass on the information here and give you guys a favor to build this Queendom community. Whatever platform you are listening on, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and tune in every Wednesday, because you just never know when you will hear that special something that completely changes the game for you. And when it happens, make sure you leave behind 5 stars so we know our efforts are making an impact. I love you guys. Let's get back into it.
Yes. Oh my God. This is my favorite conversation ever. So spirit guides are beings or spirits that are on the other side that are connected to you, that are helping you.
Connected to you on the other side. And universe is everything, right? It's basically
everything. So I kind of see that universe is the system or the program that we're in.
Yeah.
Right? And spirit guides are actually beings. So this sounds so totally whack. Then I'm fucking ready for it if you are.
So ready.
So I've got this big, tall, grey alien spirit guide. His name's Elf. ELF, super weird name for tall grey alien. However, that's his name. I don't, ask him why. And he has helped me from birth navigate my whole entire life. And when I first got introduced to him was about 5 years ago, and it was through meditation. And when I saw him, I bawled my eyes out with so much love and joy. And it was like this remembrance of like, oh my God, I've known you my whole life, yet we've never actually had a real connection. And now when if I do psychic readings, which I don't really do anymore, but when I'm in conversations with my clients and I'm getting downloads from them, it's like Alf's literally standing there sending me a message. It is wild. And I kind of went on this whole journey. Backstory. My auntie passed away when I was younger, and I was obsessed with wanting to talk to her. And so I saw every psychic, every medium that I could to chat to her. And then I read The Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein. Have you read that?
No, I'm going to write that down with the pen that I don't have.
It's really, okay. I'll text it to you later. Where has that been? That was the best book I ever read in terms of opening myself up to spirituality. So like for those of you who are listening that is new to spirituality, it's a perfect book for you to dabble your toes into, because she speaks into asking for signs and asking the universe for help and asking your spirit guides for help. And it's actually such easy language to just say, hey, spirit guides, are you there? I want to connect to you. I want to talk to you. And of course, when I read this book, I was like, you mean I can do this too? And I had this moment. I remember driving in the car and I was listening, and I remember looking at the clock. It was 11:11, and I was like, oh, I was so spiritual. And I was like, is that you, spirit guides? And I could feel like tingles all over my body. And I was like, oh my God, maybe this is my spirit guides. And of course, at this point in my life, I was meditating heaps. And I just called upon one day, I thought I could smell my grandfather's cologne that he had passed. And I just said, his name was Ark. I said, Ark, if that's you, I want to feel you. Like, I want you to touch me. And I could feel my body start to rock and these hands on my shoulders.
No way.
And I was like, oh my God, this is really real. I can't deny this. Like, tears pouring down my face. I was like, I can't deny this anymore. There has to be something else there. And so that was it, babe. I was totally obsessed. Every single podcast on spirit guides, every single YouTube video, every single fucking thing that I could get my hands on about spirit guides, I was like, I have to find this out. And I truly believe it was my spirit guides guiding me through all the things that I watched and saw, because then when I made that connection of speaking to them, I was like, oh my God, maybe I'm a psychic. And then I was like, that's really weird. I can't be psychic. Like, you don't become just psychic.
You can't? You can't? You just, I don't know, can you?
well, that's what I thought. I thought to myself, you can't just become psychic. And then all of a sudden I was like, hold on a second. We're all psychic. We've just been taught not to use our abilities. And I was like, oh my God. When I learned that, I was like, I have to bring this to the world. And that was when I had this epiphany of like, I had to start a spiritual business. I have to help people realize that they're psychic, and I had to help them heal their trauma first. Because I believe that if people are still in trauma, they're in that lower vibration that I was telling you about before. And if you're in that trauma state, if you're in that guilt, shame spiral, then you have a messy container. You can't get clear. The connection to your higher self, the connection to your spirit guides, the connection to universe isn't going to be very connected. So I went through this big journey of healing, and then once I was able to clear my container, my connection got really strong, and then basically all my spirit guides came in. I've got 9 spirit guides that I work with, and babe, you would have a few as well. You know, every person has their own team.
It's as you're speaking, I'm laughing to myself because I literally was like meditating this morning. I was feeling so aligned, and then I was on the phone to the bank. Hear me out. Was on the phone to the bank, lost my absolute shit. I was like, oh, tomorrow you're in frustration, you're in low frequency, and I get into these phases where I'm like, no, you need to be in high. No, you're getting angry at this person. No. So I feel like a lot of people listening, they have this element that they know there's the consistency behind working through high frequency. But what happens if you are, I guess, the jackhammer, as Alex explains, or the person who's going high frequency, low frequency? Does that actually affect your way of making money as well?
This is such a great question. I was asked this in one of my trainings that I did a few weeks ago. One of my clients was like, Nat, if I'm not in a high vibration, does that mean that I can't sell? And I was like, oh, no, keep selling. And also,
just keep going.
Just keep going. And also, it can be, it's a question that I often ask myself. Yes and no. I've had a mixture of emotions come up this week, and yet I was still able to make that amount of money. So I think it comes down to your belief systems around everything. You know, your belief system is a program that is running in your unconscious mind that will then come out in different ways. So if you believe that when you have anger or sadness that you can't make money, then that's a belief system, right? And then if you have a belief system that no matter what fucking emotion you have, but you're okay, you can make money, then you're sweet. So I've just adopted this belief system.
I think well, it's beautiful you say that, right, babe? Because even just my programming and my upbringing, I speak about this a lot. I guess I have always worked from this determination and this perseverance based on what I've been through when I was a little girl. And it's almost been like this thing of like, just keep going no matter what, show up no matter what's going on in your life, embrace hardship and show up. So hearing that, there's been that element of belief, but then I've also seen how beautiful it is when you are in abundance and when you are in fluidity and you are really working from this place of flow. And I feel like people listening, because I'm a very masculine person, and this is where I feel like, and maybe this would be, I've got so many questions, but I feel like, I know, I've got so many questions. I feel like it's great for people listening who are, for example, I was punished for a while that masculine was not good. If you're always too masculine, it's not good. Oh, we need to talk after this.
Oh, right.
But can you be masculine and still have flow and still be successful without having to be so feminine? Because I feel like I've just realized this recently, because for me, it's like a sprinkle of feminine, but my life and how I am as a person, I will always be masculine in business.
And do you know what? Fucking frother. I love being in my masculine, and it's for such a long time. Fuck yeah. For such a fuck yeah. We should run a fucking program saying, yeah, fuck
events. Let's go.
Yes. So this is the thing. I was on the same boat as you. I was always like hardcore masculine. I ran a lash business before I ran mass.
What business?
Everyone would always say me, an eyelash business.
Nice.
I was a lash gal. And so people were always like, oh, you're so masculine. And even when I had my ex-boyfriend, everyone was like, you're so masculine. Do you demasculate him? And that was really fascinating for our dynamic. And then I do believe at the very end, towards the end of our relationship, he stopped being more dominant and I was just naturally more dominant. And I also like do things the way I like to do things. And perhaps I did demasculate him. And I still, in my heart of hearts, don't have any problem with that. I love women that are masculine, doing and driving the business from the front. And then, you know, when they want to be flow, when they want to stop, when they want to chill, they can. It's like, you probably would ever say, when you're creating content, you probably get into your fem more.
I mean, for me, the minute I go outside, I'm near the water and I've got sunlight, I have that instant connection to creativity. I just know what works for me, but everyone's different. So you're right. Like when I put the intention to create content, I know what I need to do in order for that to be really feminine and
fun. And it's like, I now, for such a long time, I was like, oh, I have to get into the feminine. I did all these feminine workshops and all this embodiment stuff. And to do the same thing. Oh my God, it's so funny. And people keep saying to me, oh, Nat, you're so masculine. And I was like, so? Do you actually have a fucking problem with it? Because I love it. And once I started accepting it, you know what? That's another reason I reckon I made more money this year.
You accepted your energy.
I fully.
Yes. I'm literally just going there now. I think I'm at that 6-week period, just a little bit lagging. So I'm hoping that.
Nice. Oh, baby, it'll come so heavy, and then you'll just literally level up. Like in January of this year, I decided that no matter what anyone said about my business or me as a person or the way I create things, I was going to be fully me and own all of me and even be more of me. And ever since I did that, like my business, like 6-figure month every month, babe.
So good.
Yeah, and now it's like almost at double figures, you know? Yeah.
Let's talk about, sorry, I had the question about spirituality before, and now I've completely forgotten it. I think it was more in relation to, so you know that it was that book you recommended, but for anyone that is in the process of speaking to spiritual guide, it's literally just start speaking and asking for guidance.
Totally. And they can always hear you, and they're also telepathic. So you can either just talk to them in your head. So you can even just say in your head, hello, spirit guides, I love you, I'm listening to you, I'm talking to you, you know. And I always say this, if I was to have a friend, let's say that's in jail, I always say this. Let's have a friend that's in jail. And I call him. And then he doesn't call me. Eventually I'm going to be like, this is a very one-way street, right? I need you to come online and call me too. However, at the very start, he may not know to contact you. So that's like your spirit guides. Your spirit guides might not know to contact you because you've never allowed them in. So now if you're listening and you're like, oh my God, actually, maybe I could try to talk to them. all you've got to do, and I would suggest this when you're in the car, hi, Spirit Guides, I'm just going to Coles. I'm going to go and buy this. Hi, Spirit Guides. I just had an awesome podcast with Tamara. It was amazing. Hey, Spirit Guides, like whatever it is, just genuinely talk to them like they're your friends. And you build that connection of opening up. And then if you do ask them for a sign, or if you do get given something, just showing your gratitude, love, like, thank you, Spirit Guides, I'm so grateful. Thank you. And it's just that acknowledgement. Like if I was to buy your flowers or something, not necessarily that I actually want acknowledgement, but
I am expecting some flowers.
Girlfriend.
Yeah.
You just be like, thanks, babe, really, whatever you do. And it's just that nice recognition of, hey, thanks so much, Spirit Guides, for putting this into my awareness.
Of that. I just have to share this because I feel it's important for those listening, because I feel like I've been getting confused with universe and spirit guide. I guess I always just assumed it was the same.
I did too at the start. So it's very common for this to happen. Yeah.
Well, I remember I used to do the whole, give me a sign, and I would get the sign and it would hit me in the face. So I know everything what you're preaching is so true. I have one more spiritual question before we move into more money stuff. And that is because my clients come to me and I guess I always, hear my little weird things. If I see 1111 and I'm around clients or people, I'll go, make a wish, hold hands. But I have clients who see the same types of numbers all the time. I know that's like spirit guides speaking to them, but is that anything that they need to look further beyond when they see 444, 111, 222? Or is that more of a surface level stuff? There's deeper stuff that they should look into.
There's so many layers to that. So firstly, do you notice my branding is 1111?
Yes.
So cute, right? So the reason for, actually, I'm going to go into a couple of things. So 1111 is actually a portal to opening you up to an awakening. And then 711, when you start seeing 711, that's actually the sign of ascension. Now, this is my belief system, so you can totally choose to reject this, or maybe you've got other information. Numerologically, one of my best friends, she's a numerology psychic, and all numbers mean something universally, and it's so fucking fascinating. Having a numerology reading is so cool. It's like a human design or something. It really teaches you about yourself, which I find really fascinating. When people see the same recurring numbers, it is probably actually a message. And I would say to them, totally tune into that. So let's say, for instance, you've seen 444 every day for 2 weeks. I would say that's actually a sign there's something that your spirit guides want to ask. I will tell you. So I would get your phone out. I would meditate. Call in your guides by just saying, dear spirit guides, I would really love you to show me the meaning of 444. Can you please show me? And then I would go into Google and I would quite literally type in spiritual meaning of 444, and I would allow your intuition to go through and find what feels right, whether it's a feeling in your body or if it's just a knowing intuitively of being like, this is the meaning. And then I would then do your acknowledgement and your gratitude. And also when you see the numbers, like whenever I see any numbers, I'm like, thanks, spirit guys. Well, thanks, universe. I love you too. And that just sits you in a higher vibration.
Babe, that was amazing. It's just beautiful because I know the person who I'm thinking of and I know she'll be listening. She'll probably acknowledge you and send you a message. But that makes so much sense. You're right. If something's hitting you in the face, it's worth acknowledging and bringing it to awareness. Okay, so let's get back into the money stuff, because what I was initially feeling before, and we obviously went into such a beautiful energy just then, and I'm so grateful that we have. What are the things you changed from making 5-figure months, 6-figure months, the shift you had to make from going 5 to 6 figures a month to now, because our goals, or us stepping into millionaires, that's obviously like the mission for us, right? So what are the things you need to do now to get to that level? So first 5 to 6 and then 6 to 7.
Yeah, great. So first things first is I just want to acknowledge that I never grew up with any sort of big money in my life. So money to me was fucking so foreign. My biggest thing was last year when I started my coaching business, my first client, I sold at $999. Back a while, right? So I had to feel worthy of charging there. And it did take me a while. I did a course and I didn't do anything about it for 3 months. I was too scared of my own power, probably. And so the mindset shift I had to have was, I am worthy of teaching people the skills and tools and resources that I know. And then once I started getting results and started getting testimonials, I was like, oh, I'm actually really good at this. And that, oh, I'm really good at it, that acknowledgement piece gave me certainty within myself to then start charging more. So I went from charging $1,000 to $1,400, did that like 5 times, then to $2,000, got comfortable with that for a few times, then went up to 3.5 grand. So like 10 clients at that. Then I went up in little increments, right? And even now, babe, I'll intuitively know when there's the next increment that I need to go up to. And also too, the biggest mindset was, when I invested in myself, I knew it would come back. So I've now invested $200,000 into the business in the last year and 4 months. And I'm actually about to make another investment next week, which will be about $50,000. And I know that $250,000 will come back tenfold. So the biggest shifts I had to go through was worthiness. I had to clear up all my projections around money. I had to clear up away money blueprint, the systems that were running in my unconscious mind. I had to also get out of my own way and realize that I am super powerful. Another massive thing that I had to shift through was my identity. So I was someone who like used to wear lots of big crystals and like really hippie clothes, and you see me and I'm not, you would, if you saw me in the street, you wouldn't think I was spiritual at all, right? But I had this like identity to being spiritual, and I had to let go of that identity to step into this new identity that's like boss, wealth, bitch, and then I'm spiritual as fuck on the side. But it's another identity you have to shift into. And when you shift identities, it can become so massive, because it's us that we want. It's an identity that we create within our soul and that we then identify as. And when we let go of it, it's a part of us dying. And it can be really scary. So when I let go of this spiritual person that I was, I had to literally go through the death and rebirth, which means I let go of friends that were really, really spiritual, that were in that awareness and in that lower vibration. I had to explain to my family that I want to now start talking about money and start talking about wealth and start talking about all these other things that were foreign from my family, or foreign from my upbringing, or foreign from my peers. And that's another massive thing that I've gone through, from going from 5-figure months to 6-figure months, is being okay with being the tall poppy in the room.
Yeah.
Being okay when you walk into a room of being the odd one out because you are wealthy and because you are different. But for such a long time, I just wanted to be like everyone else, and I wanted to fit it, but I just wanted friends.
Yeah.
And then I went through this period once I started making all this money. I was like, I actually have no friends playing at this league. But now I've come into new friends again. Like, I even feel like you and I are going to be really
No, I was just like,
yeah,
we're hanging out soon.
We're hanging out there, yeah. And it's like now, but I had to go through this transition of like, am I a 5-figure coach a month, or am I a multi-six? And it's like, who are the girlfriends that I want to hang out there? Who are the guy mates that I want to sit with there? And my now friends, like, I look at Alex, she plays in the multi-7 figures. My best other guy mate, he's a global speaker that goes around the world. One of my other girlfriends owns a sex school, and she's incredibly wealthy and successful. And it's like, these are now my circle. But I had to transition, and I had to let go of a lot of friends that were not there. And it sounds horrible, but they just weren't in my awareness or my alignment anymore, because the things that I wanted to discuss was like mindset. Wow, what things are they investing in? What cool things are they doing for their health? What cool things are they doing for themselves? What's the new thing that they're going to write about? Like, it's all this stuff that's like super self-aware and super in love with themselves, and it's okay as well to be like that. For such a long time, I rejected that version of me, So I think that's a massive transition of actually being okay with being a tall poppy and being okay with it looking like it's arrogant or looking like it's egotistic, and knowing that when you get there, it's actually love. Like, you've gotten there because you've worked hard and because you've gotten through the mindset and you've gotten through the shifts that you've needed to internally to actually reap those rewards. And for such a long time, I had a programming that people that made that sort of money, assholes, or that didn't work hard for it, or that they got it given to them or whatever. And then when like a couple of my mentors ended up being my friends, I was like, they're the most beautiful people ever, and they've worked so hard to get where they are, and I truly am inspired by them. So how if they can do it, why can't I? And I used to say that to myself: if they can do it, why can't I? If they can do it, why can't I? What is the missing link, universe? What's the missing link? And so I just started calling it in more. All right, universe, I'm worthy of 6K months. I'm worthy of being a multimillionaire. I'm worthy of being a multimillionaire. And every single day tomorrow, I go into the mirror, I look myself into my left eye, and I reprogram myself.
Yes.
And I reprogram and I reprogram and I reprogram. And I know that it levels me up every time.
So here's the pen. So
Hey, beautiful kings and queens, are you right now in a space where you're ready to take action and build your business, yet you struggle where to begin? You're feeling stuck and overwhelmed with all the things you need to do when it comes to building a business. Build the business of your dreams in the online space and be in the arena of all the incredible, great humans out there that are building 7 to 8 figure businesses. Now, the foundations that I truly believe in that you are going to learn through this membership is sales, marketing, content creation, social media, money mindset, and of course, branding. Now, all of this will be accessible for you to be learning what is currently hot right now in the market and how you can create your own business and build a successful business in the online space. All you have to do right now is DM Empire in my Instagram or email myself and my team, and we will get the ball rolling so you can have your empire and start making moves in the online space.
going back to that, right? So I do believe in the frequency and obviously speaking into existence as if you are already this thing, right? The multi-million-dollar business. What I was taught, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or right, was if I am saying the thing that I want to be I am a millionaire, yet I'm vibrating from I guess I haven't healed certain traumas, or I haven't worked through, I guess, the limiting beliefs I had or the self-worth things, that won't happen until I've healed that? Or is it true that people can still become millionaires without working through what they've gone through?
Totally. There is 2 layers to that. I would say there are a lot of millionaires that are unhealed. You think about it, there's a lot of people in the world that are probably multimillionaires that are definitely not healed. Like I actually know a guy. I actually know 2 guys that I say from my past life in this lifetime, from when I was younger, that are both really, really, really wealthy, and they're fucking unhealed, super unhealed. And perhaps they have really good programming of believing in themselves, of calling in that abundance and being worthy of calling it in. I actually don't know their system. I should reach out to them. That's interesting. Good man, like got a calling. Yeah, thank you. And then there's the other side of it, is like that I want to say, like, money is linked to worthiness. And when you work on clearing that up, and when you work on being the best version of yourself, when you work on being totally in alignment, I think you're able to call in money. And I have a belief system that that's kind of how it works. My most successful friends are the people that are definitely the most healed. Like a good friend of mine, he's going for 100 million this year, which is really, really cool. He expands my consciousness all the time, and I'm so grateful for him. He is so congruent. Like every area of his life is so congruent, and he has had so many mentors his communication style is super clear. He's super direct, yet he comes from a place of like love and humbleness. He's an artwork in his own. He's an artist in his own self, right? His communication style is fucking phenomenal.
Mm.
And whenever I talk to him, I get so much from him. And the baseline I always take away from him is that he's in so much love with his life in the now. He's so unattached to everything else. He's so in love with who he is right now in this now moment that abundance is just there. It's like this beautiful flow that just comes. But then he also has that perfect masculine drive, and he works, 9 to 5, and he's got an amazing team that help him. And he's also super consciously connected to his spirit guides and to source energy. And when he gets a download, he actions it. So he's kind of got like that mindset, that strategy. He's a very visual person as well. And then he also has that clear connection of consciousness.
So because of what you just said, this $100 million human sounds incredible. Do you believe that it's the less is more in order to become a millionaire? Or do you truly believe that the grit and discipline and, working every single day is what's going to get you there?
I believe there's 100 ways to be a millionaire, right? Because I feel like no one way will work for everyone. And it's actually funny because my mindset used to be like, I have to hustle. Like, I was such a hustler, babe. The last few months, I've just been hustling. When in the last 2 months working with this new mentor, I've shifted my awareness to, if I have more time freedom, then I can actually create more freedom. So I just need to up my prices. I have had a massive quantum shift in my reality of being worthy to call that in, and knowing that I deliver incredible results and get incredible results with my clients. Honestly, it's been a work in progress for me to get there. And, it's just super vulnerable. It's been a fucking thing for me to get there on my own.
Anything that is worth fighting for is, babe. So, of course.
Yeah, thank you. And so I kind of feel like I've been able to, having the discipline and having the commitment is definitely how I know that I'll make my million. I should make $1 million in the next couple of months. Which is exciting.
Why don't we celebrate when you do?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it's so close now, and I've been training my mind for the past year that I'll be a multi-millionaire by 30, because I'm 28. So I've been saying by the time I'm 30, I'll be a multi-millionaire.
Babe, that's amazing. I didn't know you're 28.
Yeah,
and so to wrap this up, because I know you and I could talk forever, and I think we need to bring you in again for another day, because I feel like there's so much we can do and talk about. What's more important to you, money or time?
I've given myself right now this year to hustle, grind, work, get the money where I want it to be, for next year for me to have time. I've given myself a bit of a strategy of this year, Nat, you're hustling, you're working, you're grinding. I want you to build a big business, have the finances so that next year you can shift your business model and have more time.
It's a beautiful answer, babe. And I always like to finish off with this one question, because I think it's so powerful, because it is about the keys to the queendom. If you were to give your key to the listeners, that one key that opens their door to the guides, to universe, to more money, to being a millionaire, what would that key?
First thing that came through was mission. This sounds pretty intense, but I would die for my mission. I believe the reason I came to this earth was to shift humanity into the 5th dimension, and that is my mission, deep within my soul. And I have never felt so fulfilled in my life. Having my mission and knowing that this is what I'm here to do on this earth has been able to make me feel so in love with my life and myself and everything. And so I would say, beautiful souls that are listening to this, your key to your queendom would be find your mission at your soul level. Find your true deep passion, your true deep desires, and then action it. And action it with masculinity if you need to. Masculine, whatever you want, whatever works for you. And know that you were put on this earth to have a soul's purpose, to have a soul's mission. So live that loud. And you'll feel so fulfilled.
That was a fucking epic key. Can you get that ingrained for me? Thanks, honey.
Yeah. Put on a t-shirt.
Thank you so much, Natalie, for being here. And where can all these beautiful souls and humans find you? And what's your next project they can be a part of as well?
Yeah, thanks so much. So you can find me on TikTok and on Instagram under Natalie Patterson with 1 T, coaching. And so I am actually creating in the back end right now something really exciting called the Quantum Shift. And this will be for everyone that wants to learn the keys to the universe, actually. There is going to be 8 modalities.
Yeah.
And I will be doing quantum calls for people to ask any questions that they need or have. And I would like this to go fully global. And then there will be probably some events that I will run off the Quantum Shift as well.
I can't wait to come. I'll be there to support.
So that works. Thanks, baby. That will come out end of June.
Oh, that's a month away. Can't believe it's June. Can you believe it's nearly June?
Oh, I thought we were just celebrating New Year's.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. I blinked and I'm like, where am I?
Yeah. So thank you for your time today, babe.
Thank you, my lovely. And for everyone listening, this is Keys to the Queendom. I am Tamara Mai, your host with the beautiful Natalie Patterson. Thank you, gorgeous.
Bye.